Hello everyone, welcome back to Elevate Your Life and Business. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Marie and this video is a follow-up to the one that I just did about you are what you accept. And on this channel, I try to share my life experiences and tips and tricks so that you do not have to go through the thousands of hours and years of time that it's taken me to accumulate this information. Also on this channel, I am documenting breaking out of my 9-to-5 and my entrepreneur journey as well. Today, I just finished the video before this about you are what you accept, and I could not walk away because there's a follow-up that I felt I really needed to share this other half. So if you watch that video and you're like, there's a people, place, or thing, but specifically for this video, there's a person that you're like, they're just not for me. They're, when Marie was talking about, not accepting bad behavior, not accepting people that are bad for you, that bring you down or make you less than, this person came to mind, and either I need to step back from, limit my time with them, or even walk away entirely. So I am niching down a little bit that if you thought of a person and at some point in our lives, like I can almost guarantee you that you're going to have to walk away from someone or get someone out of your life. Like most people will just go, but there are some narcissists that they want to control you. They want to own you. And it takes a heck of a lot of willpower to get them out of your life. They will not go quietly. So that to be said, if you thought of a person, and if you think about in the next week, month, day, whatever it is, and you decide that they've got to go out of your life, then there's one more little tip that I want to talk about today. And that is another deep concept. So I'm like, let's get these deep concepts out of the way. Let's talk about forgiveness and let's talk about moving on. Now, and because I already shared my personal story, I'm never going to share the whole thing. That's just not who I am. I'm a private person, so you'll get tips and tricks here and there, especially if it relates to something I'm talking about. But I'm not an open book when it comes to that stuff. However, I did have a parent narcissist. At least I think they're a narcissist. I'm not clinically trained or anything, for being honest. Not clinically trained or anything, but fairly confident that they're a narcissist. They want to control everything. Their love is conditional about what you can do for them. And they put a nuclear bomb in my life, and that's when I decided that they had to go. And the process of getting them out of my life was brutal, excruciating. There are no words in the English language that I can come up with to express to you just how incredibly difficult, terrifying, miserable, painful, excruciatingly painful it was to get this person out of my life. So it hurt, right? It hurt, whether you love this person or, usually there's love involved, right? So this could be a parent, this could be a friend, this could be an intimate relationship. Heck, this could be a child. It could be a person that's using you and abusing you and that you've had enough of, and they treat you really horribly, and you let them, and you've decided no more. You decided that you've stepped up to the plate and that you've had enough. Not another hour, not another minute, not even one more second are you going to let them ruin your life for you. But when you get them out of your life and you're starting to recover from that experience, then there's the next big hurdle. And I don't talk about religion because I'm not here to tell you what to think or who to be or how to be. I'm just giving tips and tricks about what worked for me and that might help you on your journey. I mean, that's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this. Also, as a reminder to myself that whether it be a week from now, because I've had to watch a couple of my own videos every now and then, or whether it's 15 years from now, hopefully this will be a reminder to myself as well. So, forgiveness. That's the next hurdle. So you get this person out of your life. Some of them will walk away. Some of them are narcissistic and they will not go. You've got to kick them out of your life. Metaphorically, don't do anything stupid. No, we're not doing that. But like literally most people will just walk away. They're like, whatever, they didn't call me back. Like, okay, I'm moving on. Then there's other people that want to own you, that want to control you, that want you to feed their ego, feed their needs, their lifestyle. I mean, take your bloody pick. But they're not going to let go easily. Let's just put it that way. And it hurts. It hurts to get them out. It hurts. It hurts quite a bit. And then you're stuck with the forgiveness aspect. Because like I said, while I don't preach religion, I don't talk about religion or anything like that. There are a lot of religions. There are a lot of theories. There's a lot of evidence that you should forgive and move on. That's what I want to talk about today. You should forgive this person. Forgiveness is key. And I struggled with that so hard. I do come from a religious background, and forgiveness is quite an aspect in that religion. And that being said, this person who was a parent, I'm like, I can't forgive this, because then there's forgive and forget, right? There's that saying. And it's like, if you forgive this person, well, that just lets them right back into your life for whatever they did. That just keeps that circle, that karmic circle going. They hurt you, you forgive them. I'll never do it again, they say. They hurt you, you forgive them. They do it again. Rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. They're not changing one bit. But you forgave. You forgot. And it happened again. So this is where I've got issues with forgive and forget. I do not like that saying one bit. Because the whole point of a lesson in this life is so that you remember it. So that you can learn from it. So you can grow from it. That's the whole point, right? And what's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because you didn't learn the lesson the first time, apparently. So now you get round 2. Or God knows and God help you. Maybe you're like me and it was round 20. How many times are you going to forgive this person? Right? Forgive and forget. Hey, that you love them, or they're your family, or you can't see your life without them. Well, can you also see your life on rinse, wash, repeat of whatever it is, whatever hell it is that you're going through? So forgive and forget. Let's throw that out the door, because it doesn't serve anybody. It truly doesn't. So let's just move on. And that's where I struggled with this. Maybe you're in a situation where you were with someone that was hurting you. You've decided you had enough. You got him out of your life. And now you're trying to figure out how to move on. And one of the biggest pieces to move on, at least what a lot of modalities and a lot of theories and religions say, is that you should forgive. If you forgive someone, forgiveness is what you make of it, okay? It is your life. It is your choices. No one else gets to live your life, and they don't get to tell you what to do or who to be. You make that choice. So you can also decide what forgiveness means for you. I just recommend that you don't forgive and forget, because then you're going to be right back to where you were. Forgiveness can be, okay, no anger, no malice, just letting it go. I'm just going to let it go and move on. Forgiveness can be, hey, you come from your own difficult background. You come from your own circumstances. I understand. That still doesn't mean you're there for me. Doesn't mean that I want you in my life. Now that's powerful, right? It's powerful. You get to decide what forgiveness means. But I'm going to share a piece of wisdom that I watched. And this is from someone I think you might know fairly well. And that is Miss Taylor Swift. I grew up to her music. There are some songs that I still like. But she gave a piece of advice on an interview that when I was struggling with this concept and this topic, the light bulb went on. And her interview went something like this, or her nugget of wisdom went something like this. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. You just have to move on. You just have to move on. You do not have to forgive that person. If they hurt you that deeply, if they made your life that miserable, if they burned into you that horrible, horrible experience that is just not even possible to forgive, then just move on. And I will tell you, that was the turning point for me in that thought process and that rabbit hole. That was when I was like, thank God. Thank God, because I was really wrestling with that. I don't have to forgive. I don't have to forget. I just have to move on. Now, I'm also going to drop a little hint here. If it's a relationship, if it's a boyfriend that you love dearly and it just wasn't the right, it doesn't even have to be that they did anything horrible to you. You just didn't click. You just weren't compatible at all. You had the spark, but you didn't have the click. That's a good video to watch too, just saying. But you don't have the click. And like, they didn't do anything horrible to you. It didn't click. It didn't work out. Well, you can still just move on. And there's that saying, like, however many years you were together is how many months that you need in order to process this. Do not let society, your friends, your mother, whoever it is that you're hearing that from, go tell them to take a hike, because you get to decide how long it takes to get over them. And some relationships and some things or events that happen, like, you need time to process it. You need time, and you should absolutely give your feelings room to expand so that you can acknowledge them. That's what I'm looking for. Give yourself some time and space to acknowledge your feelings. You don't have to sink into them. You don't have to avoid them. See them. I'm sad that this guy was not for me. I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so sad. I saw a future with this guy. Feel them. See your emotions. Acknowledge them. And then move on. And a good thing is like, you can decide like, hey, I'm gonna move on right now this second. Like, okay, I've had enough. Or maybe you're like, man, that was a year-long relationship. I thought he was the love of my life. Like, okay, like, society would say that I would need like a month to get over it. And me, Marie, who's been through some hell, is going to say this to you. How about next Tuesday? How about next week? Like, they say a month. I'm saying, like, let's go. Like, life is short. Like, see those feelings, acknowledge them, process them. If you need a week, take a week. If you need a day, take a day. But do not give your feelings to society who says, okay, I was with this guy for a year and now I need a month to get over him. Hell no. You do what's right for you. You get to choose. And here's another thing. We're talking about forgiveness and moving on. You're with this guy for a year. You thought he was the love of your life. How about forgiveness for yourself? How about you forgive yourself that he wasn't the one for you? That you thought that he was. And how about you give yourself some grace and some mercy? And how about you forgive yourself that you got it wrong? That it's okay to get that wrong. And let's just move on. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't keep lingering for the next 2 years where you never get another relationship. Okay, that guy wasn't for you. It was painful, not because he did anything wrong, but because you really liked him and you had to let him go because you just weren't compatible. Forgive yourself and move on. And move on. But when it comes to other people, and that's where I think forgiveness is really key, is it's more for you. It's more for you when you make an error, when you make a mistake, when you struggle, when you maybe know better, but you did it anyway. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for that mistake. Forgive yourself for that error. Man, you thought he was the one for you. Forgive yourself. And then move on. And decide to move on, like, within whatever time frame works for you. Whether it's an hour, a minute, a day, a week. Like, just, you don't have to be sitting in sorrow for a month. Okay? And I would highly recommend not doing that, because our emotions do play on our physical well-being. So if you want to get depressed, I mean, go ahead, take a month to dwell on it, because it's going to make life even harder when you're like, okay, I'm ready. Now your body has caught up with your mind that you are depressed, and now you're going to have to turn things around on that regard. It might make life a little bit harder, and you might be stuck. See, that's the thing. If you can choose how long, if you can choose to acknowledge your emotions, see them and let them go rather than wallowing in them or staying in them for extended periods, you get control over your mind and body. But the whole point of this is about forgiveness and moving on. If someone has hurt you, you do not have to forgive them if you don't want to. And God, I know I'm gonna get a bunch of hate in the text. I'm sure someone doesn't like what I'm saying on that. That's okay. You don't have to agree. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. These are things that worked for me. They might not work for everyone, but at the very least, did I not make you think about it? At the very least, in the next situation, person, place, or thing that has hurt you, will you, especially person, more people than anything, right? Animals don't really hurt us that often. Places, although places can be kind of dicey too, let's be honest, depending on your childhood or whatever. But people hurt us more than ever. More than anything, it's usually a person. You get to decide if you want to forgive. Forgiveness does not mean accepting that behavior of, oh yeah, I forgive you, it's okay to hurt me again, and be in a karmic cycle, and a cycle where it keeps on repeating over and over and over. No, forgiveness can be, I appreciate your apology. I have no ill will against you. I'm moving on. And I'm gonna end this video, this last deep video. I'm hoping to get into some more funner things, bigger, nicer topics here. But one last thing when it comes to this. If someone has hurt you, and if you go through this moving on process, forgiveness is up to you. Whatever context, remember, whatever context you want that to be, you get to decide. Not society, not the people around you. You get to decide what that means. And if you finally get to moving on, and if you finally get to almost, I want to say indifference, where you're whole, you're happy, like you've learned from that experience, I think the final step on that journey, and I think it's so incredibly powerful, it's the reason why I want to end on it. Thank you. Can you get to a thank you? Might take your whole lifetime to get there. I'm definitely not there when it comes to my crazy parents. I'm not there yet. I'm getting there. Thank you for being so awful, for teaching me such a horrible, horrific, excruciating lesson that you have made me into an incredibly strong, caring woman, or whatever your situation is. Thank you for the lesson that you gave me, right? Because isn't that the most powerful acceptance? Accepting it. Accepting that this thing happened to you, accepting that you have actually moved on, that you're no longer controlled by this person, place, or thing, or experience, and finally reaching the end result of thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making my life holy hell. Because without that, I wouldn't have burned. I wouldn't have figured out that there's a better way. I wouldn't have been desperate enough to try anything and everything to find a way out of the life that I was in. Thank you. Because now not only do I have a titanium core, not only have I built a sanctuary of peace within my life and in myself and who I am, I can now share it on YouTube, and I can now share it with other people. Then maybe I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Maybe I won't resonate with everyone. But if I can even help one life, one person, if I can make a difference just even slightly, well, all that pain and suffering then, isn't that honorable? Isn't that honorable to accept that experience happened to you and then to go share your life, world, or your experiences with someone else? And you don't have to do what I'm doing on YouTube. You don't have to. Heck, you can just get to the thank you. Thank you for making me a stronger person. And that's, you can stop there. But if you do feel a calling, you can take it one step further and do what I'm doing. And you can write a book, you could do a YouTube, or honestly, it doesn't have to be anything that crazy. If you don't want to put your face on camera or whatnot, it can just simply helping a friend. Like, hey, I don't really talk about this. I'm really past it, but you know, this thing happened to me when I was younger, or this experience happened to me, and this is what I went through, and maybe this will help you. So maybe it's just a one-on-one conversation with a friend going through a hard time, and you can pass along that light and that knowledge that they can get through it, that it's possible, that you don't have to forgive and forget and be stuck in a cycle of pain. You do not have to be stuck in that painful cycle if you don't want to. It's up to you to choose. I hope this was powerful for you. I hope it got you thinking. I hope it makes just a little bit of difference. Thank you guys for watching this channel. If this did anything for you, if you could go ahead and hit on that like button and subscribe for me. And I do love hearing from my lovely audience if this helped you in any way. See you guys in the next video. The next one will be lighter, okay? See you then. Bye.